Now that's interesting. Mine says 10.
What'd you say?
Mine says 10 participants online.
Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because Bob's got 2 slots. So I don't count Bob. Well, you know what I mean. Of course he counts, but
Don't tell him that, you'll hurt his feelings.
you know, he definitely counts. Oh, we had somebody else join. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 9 online. Hi, John Halata.
Hi. Here we are.
How are you and Gail?
Day by day.
Yeah.
But we're doing just fine.
Good.
We're happy that spring is here.
Oh, isn't the weather been nice?
Aren't
Yeah.
we though?
Sunshine, blue skies.
Yes.
Can sit outside. Yeah.
Yeah, we enjoy that. We I was telling the guys that our son from New York City came down over the weekend. And yes, it was nice after the sun went down to be able to sit out on the courtyard, sit out in the courtyard and just enjoy. You know, we could look up, see the pretty sky and just enjoy it. And it wasn't too cool to sit out there. I mean, one was in short sleeves, one was in the long sleeve, and I was in a long sleeve and a jacket.
Covered with a blanket.
No, not quite. But yes, that would be me. I was the one. You could just see Kelly from New York City was down. He had, a short sleeve shirt. He may have even had shorts on. Art was he had just like a long sleeve shirt. But yeah, so it was funny.
Hello, John. Hello, everyone. We're going to start here in just a few minutes. So I'm going to start just muting the room for you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Cary Rotary Club. happy spring. 2 days late. Great to be together. It also happens to be World Water Day today. So congratulations and celebrate some of that beautiful water that we have up front. Can I ask Tim Mannix to lead us in the invocation and pledge today?
And a prayer that we're going to use today. But then last night, I was at something, we were doing the launch Cary deal. We try and help other people who are trying to start businesses. There was a young lady who gave a talk. They all give their pitch last night. And she gave a talk and she presented something that she uses with some of these folks she's trying to help. And I captured it. So that'll be our prayer today. This is from that young lady's presentation last night. Life is not easy for any of us, but what is that? We must have perseverance and above all, confidence in ourselves. We must believe we're gifted for something, and this thing must be attained. Second author, don't wait until everything's just right. It'll never be perfect. There'll always be challenges, obstacles, and less than perfect conditions. So what? Get started now. With each step you take, you'll grow stronger and stronger, more and more self-confident, and more successful. And the final one, in the beginning of our mental health journey, it's one of fear, not knowing when, confusion, sadness, and loneliness. Then one day, someone takes your hand, wipes your tears, and tell you they understand. That day is today. You are not alone. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right, can I ask Bill Fletcher to please introduce our guests and visiting Rotarians today, Bill?
Exactly to you, Mr. President. I just wish you'd figure out how to ring that bell.
Louder?
All right, today Ernie Faulkner has a guest with us. Would you introduce your guest, please? Yes. I'd like to introduce my daughter's bride of 40+ years, Miss Joyce Faulkner.
Hi, welcome, Joyce.
My guest today, Mr. Luther Cary, former administrator in the Wake County Public School System, former Rotarian. It says he's too busy to be a Rotarian today, but I'm working on him.
Yeah.
Luther, thank you for being here.
Welcome. Luther.
How's it going?
From Sunrise, Impact Sunrise. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Greg. Thanks for being with us.
Visitors today, our guests today.
And I want to acknowledge two other folks that are with us today who are kind of in the holding period as we go through our membership process. They've been accepted by the board and will officially become members. Aiden Jones, back, everyone has had a chance to meet Aiden. And Brant Rubin. There. This time next week, they'll be singing God Bless America for us all. Thanks, guys. Yes. Well, paraphrasing Mark Twain, there are two kinds of people in the world. Those who choose not to read the newspaper and are uninformed, and those that choose to read the newspaper daily that are misinformed. I want to apologize to anyone that read any of the emails I sent over the last 3 or 4 days, because almost nothing in them is accurate as of this point in time. I apologize for those of you that had your mouth watering for a grilled salmon salad today. Good news is that's next week. So enjoy your beef stroganoff. It's almost the same. It's almost the same.
Very simple.
And you'll realize that our county superintendent of schools is not Cathy Price, but Cathy Moore. And unfortunately, Cathy Moore is not going to be our speaker today. She has fallen ill yet this morning. And so Bill got, I beg your pardon? Yeah, that should have been our backup plan. But Bill has been in communication with her office, and Bill, I don't know if you want to briefly.
Cathy, I've known Cathy for more than a decade. She's been in this role now for, I guess, 4 years. She doesn't miss an opportunity to share the story about Wake County Public School System willingly. I just want you to know that. It's interesting that tonight is scheduled to be a joint meeting between the school board and the county commission, where she was or may still be able to present the school system budget request to the county commission. So she would have wanted very much to be here. She did want very much to be here. I've offered her the open dates in June. If her calendar clears for one of those early dates in June, to come back and be with us. And I appreciate your prayers for her. She's carried an awful load the last 2 years with COVID and everything else that the superintendent's had to deal with. And so I send her sincere regrets by way of her staff. She'd love to be here much better than where she is now. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Bill, for coordinating all of that, and we'll wish her good health. Speaking of good health, just to update you again, I spoke last week about our friend and club member, Howard Manning. He remains in the hospital being treated for pneumonia. And his family has asked for a little bit of privacy at the hospital, but welcomes any cards or letters that you'd want to send either to Dorcas or to their home, and most especially our prayers for his recovery. So if you can keep Howard in your thoughts, that's the most appropriate thing for us to do at this point. And we'll look to keep you posted. He's had such an impact. Dorcas reached out and said, I don't know if you've heard, but Howard is ill. And it's clear the impact he's had on our club, that there are probably a dozen folks that have been connected to Dorcas now and in the past, and are on a distribution list. So we'll keep you up to date as his health recovers. Also today, I'll make our last call for hockey tickets. We will be going, there's a group of 30 strong at the moment, heading to the Hurricanes game next Thursday night. There are still tickets available if you'd like to go at our discounted rate, but please let me know no later than this Friday, the 25th of March, if you're interested in coming. We're looking forward to a great night. For those that have indicated an interest, I'll be back in touch with you around parking passes and other things if you wanted to take advantage of that. We'll also get an eye towards who's the whole list, and we can see about doubling up and carpooling too. So more to come. The last call for hockey tickets. Also, just by way of announcement, the District Day of Service I spoke briefly about last week. A reminder, that's April 23rd, which I guess is only a month from tomorrow. We'll be participating in a garden work day. There'll be more to come on all of that, but again, we'll be part of the 40 some odd clubs in District 7710 that are doing environmentally focused kinds of service in the community. And I want to thank Camille Hedrick for helping to connect us to students at Green Hope High, who will also be assisting. They have stronger backs than many of us. I don't know if that makes us supervisors or not. I suspect not. They have to have followers in order to have be supervisors, I think. So I won't make any further comment on that. Also wanted to put an advertisement for the district conference, May 13th and 14th, on two respects. Number one, great event out in Winston-Salem, first time in person for several years. There's a great agenda that's been planned. I'd love to have anyone here join me at the conference. Also, we'll be doing a collection of personal items, personal toiletry items to help support the district service event that will happen as part of that conference. So more to come there. Do we have any miracle moments to share today? I'll call on the group to share anything that rises to a miracle moment. All right, we'll keep those to keep and settle those with ourselves. All right, well, so in the absence of our planned speaker, and in an effort to make a productive use of our time, what I'd like to do is just briefly have some of our committee chairs provide an update of the current status of what they're working on. You know, sometimes we get so involved in doing what we're doing, it's hard to share across the club the great impact that each of the committees is having. So if I can, I'd like to first call on Rod Brooks, fresh back from PETS, along with Camille this week. And Rod, ask you to give us an update on some of what you experienced and what you see ahead.
I will. Thank you, President Bob. I have a huge word of thanks to say to the club because Camille and I had the honor and pleasure of attending Rotary Pets training. That doesn't involve furry animals. That is the president-elect training seminar. And it was just fascinating. I mean, it was fabulous. I've been in Rotary since 2006. And it seems like in a way that I keep rediscovering Rotary. And that's what it felt like this weekend. There were amazing presentations. Rotary International President Jennifer Jones was one of the keynote speakers. There were many others, including Taylor Huey, who spoke about Rotaract, who she helped build a 400-person Rotaract club at Duke University. Greg was there. Greg is the incoming president from Apex Sunrise, and you know, I have to say that as a group, we were all moved. Before, sort of going into this, I have to say that I was feeling a little nervous. You know, our club has 50 years of legacy and impact in the community, and you know, the thought of becoming president of this club can be a little intimidating. But I have to say that attending PETS, I left feeling a little more prepared and certainly a lot inspired for this coming year. I also have to say that, you know, learning, when you go to PETS, you kind of learn all the stuff that you're supposed to be doing as a club president. And when you learn about that and you see all of what is expected and needs to be done, one thing that I left with was a huge appreciation, even more so than I already had, for the job that Bob Griffin has done for our club as our president this year. And so when you learn all the stuff that needs to be done, I just left feeling what an incredible job that Bob has done this year. So big shoes to fill. I'm excited about next year. Again, having sort of rediscovered Rotary, I'm reminded of just the potential that we have as a club, especially a club with 100 members like ours, especially a club that is well focused on our key impact areas of hunger and education and literacy and economic mobility, economic impact. I mean, we're a club that's focused with a tremendous amount of capacity, and I'm just excited about what we can accomplish as a club in the coming year. Re-inspired about Rotary. I'm also excited about the potential to partner with other clubs in the Cary area and throughout our district. Re-excited about Rotary. I'm excited about the ways in which the district is supporting our club and the opportunity that we have to explore new avenues of service, like through engaging Rotary, for example, like through international service opportunities. I mean, there's so much potential. So I want to share with you all that on May 21st, we're going to do a half-day strategic planning retreat, the board, and we welcome your input. You're welcome to come and attend that day if you'd like to spend half a day thinking about what we will do as a club. May 21st. But otherwise, if you want to just pass along any thoughts or comments or suggestions or just ideas for what you'd like to see take place in the club next year, please, I'm really interested in your thoughts and ideas, and would love to hear from you on that. Also, let me just say that to our new members, Aiden and Brant, I'm looking forward to talking with you all, and especially anxious to hear what you're interested in getting out of your Rotary experience. This is a club, we're committed to providing that avenue for you. With that, I'll just conclude by saying how honored I am to be able to serve as your president-elect and as your president starting in July. And I'm really excited about this opportunity. I'll turn it over to the rest of my colleagues. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Rod. I know there's a very bright future ahead. Did he leave anything out, Camille?
So the opportunity for networking was pretty amazing. I have all the phone numbers of all the Cary president-elects, and that's not small because now I think maybe all of y'all already have them. I don't know. And also Greg's here because we met there. He's a Green Hope parent, former parent, and his daughter teaches at Green Hope, and we just saw each other's shirts. And so now he came to this meeting, and we'll be connecting on projects, which we wouldn't have done if we hadn't been at that training. And I had to carve this out. I'm like, y'all know my days are kind of busy, right? And that wouldn't have happened if we hadn't gone and just carved out a little time out of our weekend. And you said something about how inspiring the speakers were. Yeah, that's not even, there is no saying what it was like to hear someone who's been feet on the ground in a small village in Mexico, who's an engineer and who speaks to the villages and says, is it okay if we fix your water? And someone in Canada put together the money to fund the project, and the villager said, yes, thank you. We would like for you to fix our water. It was so moving to listen to that. It was beyond explaining. And we do that too for people. That's the point of what we do. It was beyond explaining. I think y'all would like something like this. It doesn't have to be this training. It could be one of the other.
This is an example of the kinds of programs they have.
Lots of weekends like this. I think y'all might like something like this. I mean, I kind of had to, these guys had to push me a little bit to go. They kept saying, did you register yet? Did you register yet? And finally I said, all right, I'll go. And I was really glad of that. I think y'all might like it. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking.
Thanks for sharing that. Yep. Any unsolicited testimonials, Greg? I should give you the.
I'm glad you returned the camera. I would heartily endorse the district assembly in Winston-Salem. Now, unfortunately, one of her teachers, happens to be my daughter, is in a wedding on the 14th, so I can't go. But that is going to be a fantastic, if PETS is anything like what the district pulls off for assembly, it'll be a terrific meeting. It'll be a great spend of your time. And it's a couple of days away with your significant other, perhaps. Yeah, I heartily endorse it. I hope you guys get to go someday.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Your compensation for that message will be coming shortly. Yes, sir.
There's an added attraction in Winston-Salem, but I know everybody would really be interested in seeing that great university in Winston-Salem.
Which one is that, John?
I'm saying.
There you go. Let's see if we can find our way there while we're in Winston. Paul Wazalkevich, our esteemed secretary.
I'll get them for you. Thanks, Kat. I'm just Paul. To our guests and all, my name is Paul, and I've had the privilege of trying to fill Kent's shoes. He was my predecessor, and he's a big guy, big shoes and all that. So I'm doing my best. First of all, I have the privilege of serving as a club secretary. And what I have, first of all, I want to appreciate the greeters. Some of you signed up as greeters. And today was Ben, and had the privilege of standing up there with me and telling you what you're not going to eat or what you are going to eat. And so that's invaluable, because when you got 100 people coming in through the door at one time, having a greeter there makes a lot of sense, because they can take the time with you and welcome you and tell you what you're not going to have. Just kidding. So what I have here in my hands is the coveted Perfect Attendance Award. I know there's a lot of you who've been in the club for, Jerry, how many, 50, 60 years?
I think it's 58, isn't it?
58 years, yeah, 58 years. So he's got a perfect attendance record, and there's a lot of others of you who've got 30 years, 40 years, and not to diss the folks like me who had 4 years, because I've only been here about 4 years or so, but it is this is a tradition. We like to honor those who come regularly. And so I just want to talk a little bit about it. In the beginning of May, I start the process of assembling all the information that I get. Basically, I do a weekly attendance, and I send it off to the mothership, as I call it, to Rotary International. But what I also do is I enter in other events where you may have volunteered and all that. So the first and the best way of getting a credit for attendance is you're doing it right now. You're here. We get to see your beautiful faces, and you're at our meeting online. You're also there. You do get credit for that, because our esteemed president sends me a list weekly as to who attended. So I kind of marry them together and send all that to the mothership. And if you're unable to attend a meeting for whatever reason, you've got different opportunities. You can go online. You can take a class online, but also send me a note that you've taken it. You can be like our esteemed guest over here and visit another club. They've got a wonderful club. I've been there selling chili dinner tickets before in the past. So I remember you're still paying for it. So you can visit other clubs. So you get a credit there. So if you're unable to attend here, you'll get a credit for that week. And committee participation. The chili committee would gladly have you volunteering. Bill would love to have you on his committee. The others that you'll hear from would love to have you on their committees too. So every meeting you attend, even if it's after one meeting, just picture this. You come to here on a day like today, and you get 2 credits. You know, what a country. You get 2 credits, one for the meeting and then one for the committee meeting afterwards. So, can't be better than that. If you do happen to take a class or something like that, you want to be really sure that you got credit for it, let me know. Just send me an email. All I need is your name, the date, what it was, and it's simple as that. And contact me if you want to know where you stand. I get requests about this time of year for, am I missing any? Am I missing any? And all that. Our president records the meetings, and they're available for you to watch in case you miss. And I'll end it by saying, relax, you're in good hands. We'll take care of you.
Thank you, Paul, for managing all of that and everything else that falls under the secretary's duties. So thank you for all of that. Leon Abbas, our chair of their international committee. And we've been active internationally this year, thanks to Leon's leadership and the committee. So perhaps you can provide an update.
Thank you very much. As you're aware, our club is supporting a matching grant project in Ukraine. And that's very much on all our minds right now. The project is to provide a particular medical treatment to infants. And it's, my understanding is that it's very new and it's not widely available, but it would be the first time it would be made available in Ukraine. But there's so much uncertainty now as to, is that hospital even standing? So I can't report to you anything because I don't think anybody knows really what's going on or what the condition there is and so on. But that's the most recent update that I can give you, and we'll continue to monitor as time goes on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leon. And also not to forget the support that we, as one of the many Cary and really outside Cary clubs that support the community in Dominican Republic and the construction now of homes and filling homes with household items. So what you do in this club and your generosity to the Rotary Foundation helps pay for a good bit of that. Mr. Bill Fletcher, our youth services group is active this time of year too, isn't it?
We are. Give you an update. Most of you are aware of the reading program that we sponsor called Read a Book, Get a Book, a before school program where children who likely don't have books at home and who aren't reading at grade level are invited to participate in a program where they can earn a book by reading a book. The COVID protocols have kind of put that program on the side in many of our schools. We've got 2 schools that have organized around, and primarily because of personnel availability, the additional tasks in schools to deal with COVID testing and making sure kids are wearing masks and originally taking temperatures just kind of consumed the personnel that was available to provide this before school program. 2 schools, Dillard Drive Elementary and Salem Elementary, have continued the program. That means we have some funds left over. So we've talked with the district. Mary Cam is this year's district grant chair. She's talked with her committee. We received permission to reallocate those funds to the summer reading recovery program called Read to Achieve. So later this week, I'll be working with the leadership at Wake County Public Schools for us to use the funds that we have available, which currently is around $3,000, to buy books that kids will get in that Read to Achieve program that will be supplemental to the other curriculum that's going on in the program. The kids will be in school. It's by invitation. It's by invitation. They're not required to go, but it's fun, and most of the kids choose to go that are eligible to attend. So we're looking at reallocating those funds to that purpose, and in that way supporting the literature development of the target audience, which are 1st and 2nd grade kids. Next week, April 4th, where we will receive the information relative to the Honor a Teacher program. The history of this program goes back to Ralph and Dashni Ashworth initiating the Discovery Award to award a single teacher in the Cary area $1,000 and some extra soda fountain credits at Ashworth, I'm sure, because of their work in supporting schools. Today, that program is run by the Cary Chamber. There will be 30 people recognized this year. Our club sponsors 2 of those recognitions. And we have a focus on literacy. The nominees that are being selected and then called, if there are too many nominees in a school, then the principal will be determining 4 or 5 to present to the club. We will then review, a group of us will review a video presentation by the nominee, as well as their philosophy of teaching and their curriculum vitae. And then we get to choose who receives the Honor a Teacher Award in May. It's a $1,000 check made payable to the teacher for their use. Ideally, personally, 90% of them are going to use it in their classroom, or already have spent it in the classroom, and it'll be a reimbursement for what they've already spent. But that's a great program we're doing. We also have this year, we're working with the McGregor Club to increase the pool of applicants for the high school scholarship program. We've developed a common application, and it has been distributed to the career counselors in our high schools. And we're expecting that pool of applicants to come in. Then McGregor's focus is on vocational training, trades training for that scholarship pool. Our focus is on moving to 2-year or 4-year college with the idea that you're taking an academic track. And so we'll parse those applications, and each club will determine who receives the scholarship award for the current year. So that's what's active right now. There are other programs that we do that I should say rival, excuse me. The Rotary Youth Leadership Award is happening the second weekend of April. We have 3 students, high school juniors, who have agreed to participate. We're providing their scholarship, it's $375 apiece. And Darren Gay will be providing transportation to those kids safely to camp and back. And it's we intend to have 1 or more of those students come to the club and tell us about their experience between now and the end of the academic year. So that's what we're about. And there's more on the youth leadership group. We actually have a committee meeting this afternoon at 1:30 if you'd like to come see what it's about and join our group. Thank you very much. Let me say one thing. Let me say one other thing. Paul was a Kevin. I learned something about him this week. I got a call from a gentleman over in Chapel Hill. He and his community had gathered together lots and lots of sweaters and blankets that they wanted to donate to Ukraine. And they couldn't find out where to go. And I said, well, I know somebody from Ukraine. Let me talk to Paul. Come to find out, Paul was an organizer of a statewide organization. And what's it called, Paul?
Ukrainian Student of the Carolinas.
What?
Ukrainian Association.
Ukrainian Association of the Carolinas, 35 years ago, to support work in the Ukraine. And when I read Paul sent me a list of things that they really need. Sweaters are great, but it's hard to get them there. Flak jackets, medical supplies, ammunition. So when we think of wanting to do good, I want to applaud Paul for his passion for his home country and for his people.
+1. +1. And also, I know, Bill, you mentioned the scholarships that we'll be awarding. Just so the club knows, we are also involved in the financing of 2 additional scholarships to Wake Tech, named after Dr. Bruce Howell. Those winners have already been selected by Wake Tech, and we've got invitations out to those folks to come and join us for a club meeting as well. So fantastic work on the youth services committee. Thank you. Both you and Leon made mention of resources through grants. And so what I'd like to do, if I can, is call on a key resource and advocate that we have to gain access to those resources, and that's Mary Can. So Mary, I have a new toy that I'm going to try to use as we speak to get you on the screen here. So hang on one second for me. Go ahead, Mary.
Okay, you want me to speak about grants and then also what our club's doing regarding the foundation?
Correct.
Okay, all right, well, very quickly about grants. We need to have our district grant applications completed by May 1. And so anything that we're thinking about doing as a club, we need to have those applications in. I would say that if we are going to submit more than one application, we need to prioritize what's project 1, what's project 2, what's project 3, just so that as we're looking at them and approve according to how much grant funds we're going to have this year. We'll be able to put those on as they're approved. And then with the same thing, the current ones that we're working on that we have. So the Bill mentioned the repurposed read and feed, or excuse me, read a book, get a book program. We need to go ahead and have those applications and the reports completed by May 30th. And Bill and I can talk a little bit about possibly an extension if we need that, so that we can then put all that money together, said this is how we spent it, send it up to the Rotary Foundation, and then apply for the grant money for this coming Rotary year, 2022-23. One other thing on the international program that Leon spoke about, our club contributed $1,000 towards the exchange money that the Fuquay Arena Downtown Club needed to provide for their grant being given $15,000 from the district. And so in order to do that, Vitaly, who spoke with us, needed to raise $8,571. So our club committed $1,000 to for those exchange monies to go to the annual fund. So we'll continue to build it and be able to do other projects. So thank you to the club for that. Now, regarding the annual fund, the Rotary Foundation annual fund, we are asking every member to contribute $100 a year to be a sustaining member. And that means $25 a quarter, or $100 if you are a senior active 85, where you pay dues annually. And that goes to the annual fund. And in order for us to contribute to the annual fund so that the annual fund can then approve grants like the Fuquay Arena to see Mom, other global grants. We have a number of global grants, and then also district grants. We contributed about $109,000 toward district grants this year, of which our club received $2,000 for the Read a Book, Get a Book Club, Read a Book, Get a Book project. Sorry, Bill. And the other thing that we did this year is so with that, I'm sorry, for Q1 and Q2, we sent to the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund $3,500. Now, we have some people who perhaps have not paid fully. So I just want to encourage you to make sure that you are looking at your invoices that are emailed from Blair and follow up with Frank Shell to please pay those invoices, because again, that money is what we send to the Rotary Foundation to be able to then, so they can fund projects like the To See Mom and other global grants and the district grants. Polio Plus, this year in honor of World Polio Day, which was in October, we had collections from 19 Rotarians through various means that totaled $1,860. And then the district or the club said that they would match that. The board of directors said that they would match our grant, what was collected by from the Rotarians, and they would match that $1,000. So we were able to send a total of $2,860 towards the Polio Plus. The last thing I want to mention is we want to become 100% Paul Harris Club, Paul Harris Fellow Club. So we have an initiative that President Bob and past District Governor Tim Mannix and I will be working on, and we will be meeting in April to go ahead and get that underway, because we'd like to be able to do that. I don't know if it will be able to make it happen in 2022 in Bob's year, or if it will be in Rod's year in 22, 23. But that's an initiative that we want to work on. Tim has done a great job in contacting people who have extra Paul Harris Fellow points, where we can look at possibly matching. So we'll give you more update on that, but that is our goal, to become a 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club. And with that, that's my report. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Mary.
Mhm.
And Rotary Foundation is a topic that could take probably a month of meeting. So as we continue to get educated and active there, we appreciate all your work, Mary, to keep us on track. David Coulter, would you like to make some commentary on the program committee? Which does fit. I don't use today as an example of the program committee's work.
Thank you, President Bob. So, the program committee has a foundation that has been laid by Ben and Pat. And so without that kind of foundation and format, we wouldn't be able to do some of the things we're able to do. But there are a couple of committee members that I wanted to cite today. So there's Don and Charles and John Hatcher. And the heavy hitters in the committee are Pat and Paul and Bruce. And for that, I really appreciate all your work going on for that. That's how this program works for us. Upcoming programs are assisted hearing devices, North Carolina State Judicial Court System. We've got the publisher from our state. The Miracle League is going to show up later this summer. And the State Treasurer, Secretary Falwell, will be present with us as well. But there are other members who I'll call honorary members who make this program work. And these are the folks that have come up with single speakers, or touch base with me about somebody. So Leon and Bill Fletcher, Charlie Mann, Tim Mannix, Harold Bennett, Renee, Mary Cam, and George Jordan. They're key people who have come up and suggested people, and we followed up with that. I would also recognize Bob, because when we find somebody and they want to do a presentation, he's in touch with them before the meeting and really works to get that stuff working well for us. So I really appreciate Bob's heavy work on that. So if you have a speaker suggestion, please reach out to them. You don't need to talk to me or one of the committee members. Just reach out to them and see if they have an interest in speaking. Let me know and I'll follow back with them. Or if you have somebody you want me to follow up with, let me know and I will follow up with them as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David. And thank you to all the committee chairs who shared an update on where they are. Thank you for all of you for your attention and interest. What we do as a club is a result of the collective efforts of everybody in this room and some people who are not. So thank you for all of that. As we begin to close, I do want to recognize Kristen Sutton, who will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Kristen. She shares that birthday. I don't think they're twins. Tony Withers is also celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Howard Johnson will have a birthday on the 25th, which I guess is Friday. Rose Edwards on the 26th. So it's a busy birthday week for the club. We've got some club anniversaries as well. Howard Manning will be 12 years tomorrow. Bill Fletcher, 19 years as of Friday the 25th. Bill, congratulations. And on Saturday, Billy Sutton will celebrate 20 years with the Cary Rotary Club. So thank you and congratulations to Billy. Next week, our program, it will be the assisted hearing devices. Beth Mann, who's an audiologist, will join us. Thank you, David, with a program on assisted hearing devices. The meal next week will be grilled salmon salad with tomatoes, red onion, and dill vinaigrette. Knock on wood. In 2 weeks, David's also arranged to have Lynn Mingus, who is the CEO of the North Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association, come and be with us. And it'll also be a special day because in the spirit of cooperation, the Cary presidents have been visiting each of the clubs for one of their meetings every other month. And so we'll be joined by, it'll be a meeting of the 5 families here at McGregor. So we'll have the presidents of the other Cary clubs with us. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us today. Joyce, thank you for being here. You have a standing invitation to come and see Cathy when she's back. Thank you for sharing Ernie with us over these many years. Greg, thank you for joining us and bringing your message from the Sunrise Club. I'm always pleased that half of the setup is already done when I arrive at noontime.
We need to talk and see if we're going to come to that.
There you go. Luther, thank you very much for accepting Bill's invitation and coming to be with us. You also have a standing invitation. We'd love to have you when you can. Aiden and Brant, this is probably the last time I'm going to thank you for coming specifically, right? But we're really pleased that you're continuing through the membership process and can't wait to have you with us. All right, I know we're over time, but there's one other thing I wanted to do really, really quickly that's dangerous during the meeting. Can everybody pull out your phone? No, we're not going to sing Sweet Caroline. If you can open a web browser and type in dacdb.com, it will take you to an app. It's not really an app, but an interface for DACDB, which is the database, district and club database for Rotary. If you can recall your username and login for DACDB, you can then log in and have access on your phone to all of our members, contact information, and actually all members in the district. So it's a cool little tool that I would encourage. It's one little way to tiptoe into the DACDB world without getting overwhelmed.
And I would also mention, you only have to do that the first time.
That's correct.
You can say, remember me, and it's all you tap on DACDB, and it'll take you right in.
And it will create an app, so you don't even have to type it into the browser.
And while you're there, update your address and phone numbers. It would be a great move.
There you go. There's a method to my madness. All right, well, so thank you to everyone that joined us today. And if I can take the privilege of leading us out in the 4-way test today, I'd like to do that. Will you join me? Of the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? We are adjourned.